Welcome everyone to the Debenhams Ottaway Mock Employment Tribunal. Anyone who has involvement in running disciplinaries and also senior managers who may get involved in the investigation process to really understand how the whole thing plays out in an employment tribunal setting is really useful.
Clearly the respondents are relying upon misconduct as the potentially fair reason. Is that right, Ms Jennings?
That's correct.
And Mr Mellis, does the claimant accept that was the reason for dismissal or not?
The claimant doesn't accept that case, no, sir.
Ms Jennings, perhaps you'd like to call your witness. Once they've seen how it works at an employment tribunal, they can see the potential pitfalls, they can see the way in which cases are attacked, and that enables them in advance to avoid those pitfalls, to make sensible decisions at the outset.
We can agree, can't we, that the claimant, Miss Kovac, was the victim of abuse from customers in the pub?
Yes, it was a very unfortunate incident.
Not just an unfortunate incident, she was a victim of racist abuse, wasn't she, Mr Feebley? Now, a complaint was obviously made by Mrs Farfrom. It's correct, isn't it, that half of that complaint was wrong. Her father and his friend had been unfairly kicked out of the pub. We can agree that that's incorrect, can't we? Now, the only evidence you had as to the Facebook comments, the contents had all been provided by Mrs Farfrom, hadn't it?
Yes.
Ultimately, this transcript was provided by somebody who we already know had got some of the complaint wrong, hadn't we?
Yes.
You didn't give this claimant any sort of fair hearing, did you?
I don't agree. I don't think that's a fair statement.
You say that on the 30th of June, out of the blue, you were suspended for allegations about racist comments on social media. Do you see that?
Yes.
You initially denied, didn't you, using Facebook on the day to discuss the incident that happened with Bill and Arthur. You deleted that thread subsequently, didn't you?
Yes.
You accepted that the words Nazi, bigot and racist were used in relation to Bill and Arthur, didn't you?
If I used the word Nazi, it wasn't meant like that. I was the victim and that account had not been taken of that, and I was angry. These were private comments to my friend.
You said just your friends. It's right though, isn't it, that you had over 450 Facebook friends?
Yes.
You must agree with me that it can't have been that private.
I suppose not.
Well, in your witness statement, you seem to be under the impression that maybe he wanted you out as you were Polish. Is that a genuine belief on your part, Mrs Kovac?
My concerns were brushed under the carpet and Mr Feebley just carried on.
The fact is, Mrs Kovac, nothing was rushed, was it? This was a fair hearing during which you explained what had happened, you denied that you believed you had done anything wrong, and that was that.
Probably anybody in management at all ought to have the opportunity to attend, because it's only when you've seen the difficulties you can get yourself into if you don't follow a fair procedure and do things properly. Do you realise how at risk individual managers and organisations are?
It's anybody that manages people in a business, just to get a good idea about how to effectively manage employment disputes, just so that you don't end up at an employment tribunal.
The issue was dealt with, along with the whole rest of that disciplinary meeting, within 10 minutes. That is not a clear and proper consideration of the matter. And she finds herself fired from a company she's worked up from a bottle washer to manager for. The claimant was provoked. That was accepted by Mr Feebley as being the case. I said it was clearly a traumatic experience to be the victim of racist abuse. She was a good worker with a clean record. She worked hard for this company, and a dismissal is simply not a reasonable dismissal in these circumstances.
There is a difference between fairness in the legal sense and in the lay sense. But this tribunal has to apply the legal test. And within that legal test, it is my submission that her dismissal was fair. Given she was a manager of a pub in a climate in which things were very heated about race and about immigration, to have an allegation made about one of your managers making such comments about customers, regular customers, the claimant agreed that she used the word Nazi, bigot and racist about these two individuals, and she wasn't remorseful. That is the misconduct.
I think if you have employees and you want to ensure that you have a happy, healthy working place, I think to come along to the tribunal, the mock tribunal, is a fantastic idea and a good use of time.
I would recommend anyone with employee responsibilities attend, because it's a real eye-opener as to what could actually happen if you get a claim against you.
I think the delegates will take away from this a real understanding of how tribunals actually work in practice, but also the importance from right from the start to take real care over how they handle investigations and disciplinary hearings.
The key thing that I learned from attending the mock employment tribunal is ensuring that as a business you follow your internal policies.
Document, and have your procedures communicated across your team force, whether it's via your intranet or a manual copy, but ensure that everyone knows what the expectation is.
What I really enjoy is the level of engagement and participation that you get in these events. They are some really interesting questions. They are some great cross-examination questions of the witnesses at the end. So yeah, that's really great.